Isn't it funny because sometimes you think you're listening to a story, but really, the story's listening to you. Once there was a father who got sick of his kid always putting his hand near the stove. "Don't touch that, it's hot," he'd say. But the kid didn't listen. Words didn't stick. So one day, the father just let the child burn his finger once. The scream was loud, the tears were real, but after that, the kid never forgot. That's how the nervous system learns. Not from endless comfort, but from the shock that sears. And as you think about that, you might notice memories of your own. Moments where pain was the teacher. And even though you cursed at the time, later you said, "Thank God I learned then." A monk sat meditating, lost in thought. His master crept up, slapped him across the face. The monk shouted, "What the fuck was that for?" The master simply said, "For one instant, your mind stopped." See, confusion is not failure, it's the door. Surprise is the glitch in the matrix where the brain opens. Plasticity blooms. A new code can be written. A surgeon doesn't stroke your skin and whisper sweet nothings. He cuts you open, violent, shocking, precise. But that violence heals. Coddling is anesthesia. Jolts are surgery. Which one do you want if you're sick? Now these stories, they're the same patterns expressed differently. The brain expects comfort, gets shock, prediction error, plasticity opens. Chemicals flood, dopamine, norepinephrine, truth imprints. The sting sticks, the joke embeds, the insult rewires. Confusion, openness, suggestion, integration. So every paradox, every swear, every unexpected punchline, it's a scalpel for the psyche. Long ago, a king had a fool who swore constantly, mocked him brutally, embarrassed him in front of his court. Everyone wanted the fool gone, but the king kept him, because he knew the fool was the only one brave enough to tell him the truth without fear. And that truth, wrapped in shock and laughter, saved kingdoms from ruin. And isn't it interesting? Your own inner fool is already alive. That side of you that blurts the uncomfortable truth, that swears when silence was expected, that cracks a joke at a funeral. That part of you is wiser than the polished pleaser. Now imagine two futures. One where you never shock, never disrupt. You stay nice. Everyone loves you for being comfortable, but inside, people stagnate. Their loops stay unbroken. Your own life calcifies into polite mediocrity. That's karmic death. Another, where you dare to jolt, confuse, swear, slap with love. Some hate you in the moment, but years later they whisper, "That was the moment I woke up." That's karmic credit. Either way, you choose karma. The question is, do you want the karma of comfort or the karma of transformation? And so, the father, years later, saw his child grown, strong, capable, scared, but awake. The burn from the stove, long forgotten, but the lesson forever alive. Sometimes the deepest love doesn't look like comfort. Sometimes it looks like the slap, the burn, the cut. Because shock opens the door, and truth is what walks through. So as you hear this, your unconscious is already sorting. Where you've been the child, the monk, the patient, the king. And as you recognize these roles, you can also notice how you've already been the father, the master, the surgeon, the fool. And from now on, when you see loops, your own or others, you can instinctively drop the paradox, the swear, the jolt, the joke, 'Cause your nervous system already knows. The jolt is sticky. The sting imprints. The fire heals. Comfort is fucking cheap. Change is priceless. Coddling breeds weakness. Shock births strength. So stop fearing the slap. Start delivering it with precision, with timing, with love. Because the world doesn't need more lullabies. It needs truth with teeth. And that truth, you're already carrying it.